Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you're here. Am I the only one who can't walk past a pile of baking bananas without grabbing as many as they can? I'm not too sure, but I went to the supermarket, it must have been 2, 3 days ago, and there was a huge pile there at such a good price. And even the lady at the checkout said, "Are you going to do some baking?" And I said, "Yes, I'm going to do some baking. And I'm also going to process a whole lot of them and put them in the freezer," which I've already done because I probably got about 6 or 7 kilos of these delicious sweet bananas. So, if this is your first time joining me, hello, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Jamie, and this is Eat Homemade. And if you've been joining me all along, thank you. I am so, so grateful. So today we are going to make, with these beautiful sweet bananas, a couple of delicious banana breads. I've also got a batch of chocolate chip cookies to make, and I'm also going to do some banana choc chip muffins as well. But the main event that I will be sharing with you is the banana bread. If you like a banana bread that is sort of crumbly, fall apart, cakey like, then this isn't the recipe for you. This banana bread is much more like something you toast in the oven. It makes the best banana toast. You can toast it in the toaster, put butter on it, and it is so, so delicious. It also freezes well as well. So it's not a cake, it's a banana bread that slices, freezes, is so super versatile, and is delicious. So let's get started. Okay, to start off, I've just softened my butter. So I've got about 70 grams of butter in here. I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla essence. So this is one batch of banana bread, but I'm going to do another one after this and make two because I'm going to put one in the freezer. It's perfect for that. And I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I'm going to give that a mix. So mix it till it's just about creamed, just like that, and then I'm going to add 2 eggs. And if you're thinking my bench is already looking super messy and I've only just started, that's so right, it is looking super messy, but that's just because I have been refilling all my flour and making my muffin mix and stuff like that. And then I'm going to add 2 of these lovely, sweet, squishy bananas, and I am just going to mash them right in here. Saves on using another bowl. If they're not so sweet and soft like this, you might want to mash them in another bowl, but that's fine. So I'm going to grab my fork. And now I'm going to add my flour, 1.5 cups, which I will put this in grams for you as well in the description because I know grams are much easier for you. Whoops, that's a bit much. Here we go. And I did just mix this with my beater, my handheld beater. The cord won't quite reach to the camera, so I'm sorry. I just had to do that out of shot there. But that has made a beautiful creamy mixture. And that is it. That's all we need to do. And it can go straight into our loaf tin. Every last piece goes in here into our small loaf tin, and I will measure this for you because this is definitely a smaller loaf tin, and I will put that in the description for you. So that's all ready to go into the oven. One thing I do before I put my loaves in is I just put a little bit of raw sugar over the top because it gives that extra crunch. Last time I made this, I put crushed walnuts on as well, and my gosh, when you toast up the walnuts, it is delicious. This is going to go in for about 30 minutes and then I'll check it. And this is a jug that I use for my garden for watering my plants, so I don't chuck out my banana skins. They go into the jug and they are full of potassium, which my tomato plants absolutely love. If you've got some sad tomatoes or some yellowing leaves or fruiting plants that aren't doing so well, try some banana skins in some water. I leave them in here for a day or two. and I just keep using this water and refilling it until the banana skins aren't so nice, and then I just put new ones in. Okay, next up is our banana choc chip muffins. These are so easy to make because I use it's this one here. I use my muffin mix that I've already got in the pantry, which is in another video, and I will link to that as well. But it's super simple. It's simply 300 grams of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a pinch of salt, and 3/4 of a cup of sugar per batch. So this jar holds 2 batches of muffins. So every time I want to make muffins, I just melt some butter or pour some oil, add a couple of eggs and some ingredients and we're away. We've got muffins. So inside of here, I keep my little card, and it says add 100 grams of melted butter or oil, but I'm going to use butter today for our banana muffins. So I've just measured out 470 grams of our muffin mix. I should have used a bigger bowl. Look at that, tight squeeze. And I've got some melted butter. And to my melted butter, I'm going to add 1 large egg. Whoops. Get rid of those. So I've got 1 large egg. I'm going to give that a stir. I always stir my sort of melted creamed butter in with my egg before adding my milk. Then I'm going to add a cup of milk, which is 250 mils. Give it a stir. And then I don't need to add baking powder or sugar or anything like that because it's all in here. So that goes in. And then because I'm doing banana, I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla essence. And I'm going to mash up a couple of bananas. I've given that a little bit of a mix. Muffins don't like to be over mixed. And then to that, I'm going to add chocolate chips would be perfect, but I've only got chocolate buttons, but we're going to make do. So I'm going to put a good overflow cup in here, and then I can add some more to the top. And this is a lovely creamy muffin mixture with ginormous chocolate chips. It's all ready to go into our muffin tins. Okay, so I think these are about even, and I was just about to say I've done so well. I didn't even spill a drop, but I did. A couple of drops overboard, but never mind. There we go. And these are going to go into the oven just after I bring out my banana bread. And then just before they go into the oven, my MO, of course, is to sprinkle a little bit of raw sugar on top. Just like that. And then, of course, a few more of these giant chocolate chips on top. I'm going to put these chocolate buttons away because I'm already eating them. So there we go, all ready to go into the oven. This is going so quickly this morning. I'm going to be out of the kitchen in under an hour with all this baking done. And most of it will be going into the freezer. So I have been scouring the internet for the perfect chocolate chip recipe that I can share with you. So I'm trialing this one today. Again, I don't have chips, I've got buttons, but we'll see. I'm sure it's still going to work. So this recipe that I printed out says that it makes, well, they say it makes 30 chocolate chip biscuits, but in the comments somebody said it made 60, so it's going to be a surprise. It also says that you can halve the mixture and put half in the freezer and then just take them out when you want to have chocolate chip cookies and cook them from frozen. So I think that's what I'm going to do because I don't need that many. I'm just going to do half today cooked and then put the other half in the freezer, and I can let you know how they turn out. So of course I will share the link to where I've got this recipe from for you. Unless it's a complete disaster, then you might not ever want to see it, but hopefully it turns out good. So 200 grams of butter I'm going to pop in here and then melt. I just weighed my butter to make sure that it was exactly 200 grams, and it was. But do you weigh your butter? Let me know. Or do you just, use the the measurements on the side and hope for the best. So I've melted my butter. I've also had a little bit of a tidy up because things were getting a little bit out of hand. And it says 1 cup of soft brown sugar and 1 cup of white. Okay, so I'm going to give this a nice stir up. Two teaspoons of vanilla, which is just the last of my vanilla. Just enough. And then 3 cups of flour. Pinch of salt. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Have you ever forgotten to put baking powder in something? I feel like it's a bit of a me trick. That's why I'm trying to be good and double check recipes at the end. And 2 cups of chocolate chips, or giant chocolate buttons in this case. And we don't quite have 2 cups, but that's fine. This is definitely a workout. Look at how big this recipe is for these chocolate chip cookies. Wow, talk about a giant cookie. Look at this guy. So while I was waiting for my banana bread to cook, I put this in the fridge so that it would stay nice and cold and firm up a little bit. Now I'm going to divide it into 2. And I am going to put half into a bit of cling film and put it in the freezer. So I kind of think if I make it into a long dough shape, then it's going to be easy to take out, because it says you can slice this while still frozen. So we can slice it into little segments and put it in the oven when we feel like chocolate chip cookies. And our loaf is out the oven and he looks divine. Smells so good as well. So I've got all my cookies on my tray. They're going to make 18 cookies, which is just for this batch. So 18 plus another 18 over there will be 36 if my maths is correct. And I'm just using a little bit of flour on my fork so that I can push them down. Everything is looking amazing. It's all out of the oven. I'm really happy with the way the banana choc chip muffins turned out. They look so delicious. They're nice and crispy on top, which is just how I like them to be. The chocolate chip cookies are perfect as well. They didn't spread out as much as I thought they would. I could have almost squeezed them all onto the same tray, but never mind, I used 2 trays. And our banana loaf is all cooling there as well. I'm not going to cut it up until it's completely cool, but then I will get nice clean slices out of that one. I can't believe how quickly we were able to whip all these things up. It didn't take long at all. I think that we need to start trying them because they smell so amazing. One of the hardest things was keeping the cookie dough that was in the fridge, waiting for its turn in the oven, away from teenagers that were looming around the house. So that was definitely the hardest thing. So let's have a look at one of our cookies and see what it's looking like inside. I'm just going to break it open so we can see. Oh, that looks perfect, doesn't it? It does look nice and crispy. It's got nice big melted. We use the chocolate buttons, not the chips. So let's try one. That is really nice. It's definitely got more of a chewy texture to it, which is what I was looking for. And as well as this, we have got another batch of the cookie dough in the freezer for whenever we've got people coming unexpectedly or we just have a craving for chocolate chip cookies. So out of about 6 or 7 kilos of bananas, I've got 3 left, and these are just enough to make a super banana smoothie for myself and my daughter for lunch today. What I want to show you is this is what I did with all of the other bananas that I didn't use. I did make another banana loaf as well, banana bread. But this is what I did. I simply peeled the bananas, sliced them into little pieces, and free flowed them in the freezer. So now we have frozen bananas on hand whenever we want a smoothie, we want to make a special dessert, or even to pop them in muffins. So I hope you enjoyed baking with me. I so loved having you in my kitchen, and I hope that you will give some of these recipes a go. If you like something that you've seen me do, please just give a like or a subscribe or a positive comment. I so love hearing from you. It makes my day, and it tells me that I'm doing something right, and it does help me keep going. So thank you. I will see you again soon. I'm excited to share some new things on my channel that are coming up. I've got some beautiful Christmas recipes that I'm going to be trialing through the start of November. I want to get right on top of those before Christmas. And one of the things I'm going to be doing, I have not made before. So that is going to be you and I doing that together and learning our way through it. So I will see you then.